Hey guys, it's Liz from blueandhazel.com and welcome to my homeschool channel. If you're new here, I would love to have you stay. Just hit the subscribe button, and if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video, you can hit the bell. So today's video, I want to talk to you about a new curriculum that we're using, Ambleside Online, and an old curriculum for a subject that we used to use that I'm really missing, which is Brave Writer Darts and Arrows. So we love Ambleside Online so far. I'm really thrilled with it. It's a full Charlotte Mason homeschool curriculum. We have 3 kids on 3 different levels, so that's a little bit overwhelming for me being brand new to the Charlotte Mason method, and also just having 3 kids doing each their own line of things when we were really used to doing family style everything before. And so I feel like there's benefits to both, and then there's also just kind of bummer parts to both. But overall, I really love the books that we're reading. I love watching my 4th grader start to grab some independence and do some of those reads on his own. It's really incredible, and this is their very first year using narration, and so that's just been amazing. My kids have been troopers. Some of it's been really hard and frustrating for them, and myself as well, but I feel like they're doing so good for being brand new and really just having a willingness to try it. And so like I said, I love it, but I'm also missing those parts of Brave Writer that I just really loved. And I've got a couple of videos. Those of you maybe found me through my Brave Writer videos. I'll go ahead and link those below. If you haven't seen them, feel free to watch them, just how we use Brave Writer darts. And then I also have a video on like jot it down, partnership writing, and then I also have a video on like the grammar that is covered in each dart for all of the different darts that we've done, and just how you can know what you're covering. So I'm missing that from Ambleside Online, and I'm wondering, can I combine them or would it be too much? And while Ambleside Online doesn't have any type of grammar program that it comes with, it's not really necessary probably at my kids' ages. I think that I would definitely want a grammar program in upper elementary school, probably middle school, high school. But at their ages, really all that is necessary is what Ambleside Online recommends, and that is beginning copywork at age 6, and kind of that goes all the way through for language arts. Reading those really high quality books from Living Books so that they're getting that vocabulary and those ideas and those beautifully written books that have, exposed my kids already to some new types of language. And then they're also a huge staple for our language arts with the Charlotte Mason method is narration. And so they're orally narrating. My 1st, 3rd, and 4th graders are all orally narrating every school reading right now. And, sometimes it's as short for my 1st grader as, a sentence or 2 of the last thing he can remember. Sometimes it's, I don't know, but that's normal right now. He's learning how to narrate, and they say if you're brand new, it can take months, even the whole 1st year, just to learn how to tell back what you heard. And the kids are learning to pull their own ideas from what they heard, and they are learning to organize those thoughts in their mind and to make connections and then tell back what's important to them. So that's huge, and that translates over later to writing. And so that I'm really on board with, but I do kind of want to have a little bit of structured grammar, and I miss that and want to bring that hopefully back with the Brave Writer, which I already love. And so I want to show you how I think it's possible to do both. I really think it's possible. I'll do a follow-up video for sure after we've, spent a few months trying this out, but I just want to show you why I think it's complementary. So if you're new to the Brave Writer and you're not familiar with that, then this is a literature guide, and they have darts for the younger kids. The next level up is the arrow. I'd say the main difference is probably the copywork involved. It's a little longer for the older kids, but you can adjust that easily for any age. So a few elements of the arrows and the darts that we are already using in Ambleside Online that are very Charlotte Mason, that would be copywork. And there is weekly copywork in here, and some of those longer passages, which I'll show you in a minute. I think those could take a couple days. And so for Ambleside Online, we're already doing copywork every day. And so I feel like I could just stop doing some of the copywork from what we're using, which is just, I'm pulling copywork passages from our recitation. So the kids are reciting something every day. Ambleside Online gives us what that is. So I've just been having them copy those. And then eventually when we run out of those, I was gonna have them copy something from their books that they're reading, or from the Bible, or from poems that they want to copy, kind of whatever we choose. So I feel like this would complement that perfectly. I could use their weekly copywork in here, and that would take up 1 to 2 days of copywork that we're already doing. No big deal between the two there. The next thing that I think would complement really well for this is that starting around age 10 with Charlotte Mason Language Arts, as well as like Ambleside, because it's a Charlotte Mason curriculum, the kids are starting dictation. And that is where, you know, they study a passage for all of the things that they might have to write down. So they're paying attention to the spelling, they're paying attention to capitals and periods and things like that. Then I read to them and they have to write it down. Now my 10-year-old hasn't started this quite yet. He's brand new 10 and we were brand new to Charlotte Mason Homeschooling. And so I'm gonna give him the full 12-week first term of Ambleside to just like only do oral narration, nothing else. And then I think we'll ease into dictation starting term 2, and probably once a week. And so I think that this would complement that really well. Prior, we'd always skipped the dictation. It was too hard for my younger kids. And now that I understand a little bit more about Charlotte Mason, she didn't recommend doing that under age 10 anyways. So that makes sense. But he's 10 now. His ability to write what he hears is increasing. So he could do the dictation weeks in here. And the way that Julie Bogart has done this is really fun. She's got copywork only for the first week. This is a 4-week kind of literature guide. Then she also has a fun little thing called French dictation, which is where there's a word missing every so often throughout her copywork passage, and the kids have to go back in and fill that in. So it's like a little bit of an easier version of dictation, and my kids actually did enjoy doing that sometimes. I don't think it was too hard because they just had to remember how to write a word when it was missing. But we didn't do full dictation, and that is one of the weeks in here as well. So that would be something I could easily add into our Ambleside Online curriculum, which I should be doing with my 10-year-old pretty soon. And I could take that from our copywork passages here that he would be doing and studying. And I think that would be a really reasonable, easy thing to do. There's 4 copywork passages, 1 for each week. So that's perfect. He could, you know, take at least part of that, even just a sentence at first, because the copywork passages are pretty long. In the arrows at least. I get to pick the books that I want to do the guides from, and so some of these books are living books. Some of them are incredible books. I wouldn't say that I would read all of the books from Brave Writer. There's a lot of them I wouldn't read with my kids probably, but there are so many, and you can buy them a la carte, which we have, and so I feel like, you know, I can go ahead and pick the books I want to read, even though they're not on the Ambleside Online book list. And so that would be a compromise for me, because this would be our free read. Really, it would take, you know, the month or maybe a few weeks if it's shorter book, but probably the full month. And so instead of reading one of the other free reads from Ambleside Online, I'd probably be reading the Brave Writer book as our free read just during the day, or, you know, at night before bed and things like that. And so that would leave a few more of the Ambleside free read books that maybe I wouldn't get to, which would be a bummer. Or the way that we could potentially weave those in is through audiobooks for my kids that they could listen to in their spare time, or crafting, or just like during handicraft time, or during, you know, cleaning, or just whatever, nap time, rest time. And so yeah, so that would be kind of a bummer if I missed being able to read some of those free reads, but I feel like, well, we could just have the kids listen to more audiobooks if I wanted them to read some of those free reads from the free read list of each year. Or, you know, I don't know how that would look, but, you know, there's only so much of me to read so much, and we're already at pretty full capacity in our house right now for reading, especially until my oldest 2 get completely independent. I'm doing a lot of reading. So I don't feel like I could read this and a bunch of free reads. I would probably be reading whatever I would choose. So a few I have here is Children of the Longhouse. We actually already read Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim and did this one. I have Heartwood Hotel is another one on my list, and a few others that I've already purchased that I'd love to use and love to read and love to do the grammar from. Now, what I'm going to have to figure out, and I don't know how this is going to work, so stick around for the update video on this, is if I'm going to do the Dart, then I'm going to need to schedule in time during our days to do not the copywork, we're already doing that in Ambleside, not dictation, we'll already be figuring out how to do that with Ambleside, but I'm going to have to schedule in time to kind of cover the activities revolving around grammar. And so right now the kids are not doing that. We used to do it last year and the year before that. And it's real light, but they're real fun the way they're presented. So let me give you an example here. In, let's see, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There's going to be a spin and spiral. It's their scope and sequence, their fun little way they say that. And it's the first kind of page inside here. And so in this issue of the Era, we'll ponder the role of parenthetical sentences. We'll look at hyphens, prepositions, descriptive language, intensifiers, literary mood, alliteration, verb tenses, dialogue, the em dash, and those are the things that we're going to cover in this particular Dart. And it's really light. Like, I point out things, we would write the copywork passage, you know, on the whiteboard, or I could print it out and have the kids come in near and point out some of the things that it has them look at in here. Like each week it's different. That's what they call their what to note page. Like here, I would be pointing out the hyphens in the copywork passage. I'd be pointing out the parentheses and why they're there. I'd be pointing out dialogue and a little bit about that. So I'd be explaining why the hyphen was there and what kinds of things we hyphenate, and then we'd quickly talk about onomatopoeia because they have crunch crunch in their copywork, and so they would be exposed to the idea of what an onomatopoeia is. And I don't know, I just feel like these are things that I miss having using Ambleside Online, and I would want to have a little bit somehow, somewhere. And so I'm like, if we already loved Brave Writer, how can I make this work? So I think the main thing that would be an addition right now would just be putting aside probably 10 minutes, about, you know, 2 to 3 days a week, probably I would be able to do this. 10 to 15 minutes with the kids all together. So I'd probably just use my 3rd and 4th grader right now. And then we would cover some of these concepts. And I don't think it would be hard. You know, we're already doing a book read aloud anyways, so I would just be reading the book from one of these. We're already doing copywork. We would already be doing dictation. And so I feel like the main things that we would be having to designate time for would be, you know, 2 to 3 times a week, you know, 10-15 minute slot of time for us to go over the grammar that's inside of this guide. Now, I'm not going to talk about how we would cover that in this video. I will link my other videos explaining kind of like how we've done the darts in the past, how we, you know, would do these arrows or darts. And I think it would be doable. So those are my thoughts on just how I think it would be possible to combine the Brave Writer darts and arrows, that's their grammar and language arts program, with the Ambleside Online Charlotte Mason Homeschooling. So if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I would love to know if you have used either Ambleside or if you have used Brave Writer, or if you have used both, which you would be a unicorn, I think. I'd love to just hear like more how you have made that work in your homeschool, things that you like about it. If you use Ambleside right now and you have a child that you've used a grammar program for, what worked well for you? I have Fix-It Grammar kind of in the background for me. I've wanted to try that a lot, but I think right now that'll be down the road if we do that. But I'd love to hear like what you have liked as far as eventually adding in anything, or if you've added nothing and you have older students and you've graduated students, or you've had, you know, students that have taken tests down the road and you say, hey, you know, we've done this and the kids haven't needed any extra anything and it's just been fine. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. So this is kind of my comfort level of wanting a little bit of grammar in our homeschool. Obviously you can change that to be what your comfort level is and what you feel is right. And maybe that is not till way later for you, or maybe that is like earlier for you. I hope that helps you to get an idea of how I think it's possible to combine Brave Writer with Ambleside Online, and how I think they would complement each other. The main thing being having to add in that short period of time, a few days a week, where we come together and we cover what is inside of the guide. All right, thanks so much. I hope you'll like this video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to check out the links for any of my other Brave Writer or Ambleside videos.